Not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. Some are waiting for the moment you stumble to disappear. Today, I'm going to reveal the one habit that exposes every fake friend. And it's simpler than you think. The one habit that instantly reveals who truly supports you and who doesn't is deceptively simple, yet profoundly powerful. It doesn't require confrontation, questioning, or even dramatic circumstances. It's a subtle action, a small test of consistency, patience, and loyalty that shines a bright light on the true character of those around you. We often spend so much time trying to read people's words, trying to analyze conversations, trying to interpret smiles and gestures, when in reality, the clearest indicator of someone's intentions is how they behave when it matters most. Imagine for a moment a scenario where you're facing a challenge, a personal setback, a professional hurdle, a moment where you feel vulnerable and exposed. In these moments, the people who claim to care, the ones who profess friendship, are suddenly tested without even realizing it. They may not know they're being tested, but every choice they make in response to your situation will reveal their true allegiance. Real friends don't wait for invitations to show up. They don't calculate convenience before extending help. Their presence is organic, unforced, and consistent. This habit is about paying attention to that consistency, about noticing who makes the effort when there's nothing to gain, when there's no reward, and when showing up requires real effort. It's about observing who responds with empathy and action, not just words. Because words are easy, anyone can say, "I'm here for you." But actions, they are deliberate and they require commitment. This habit is as simple as observing who reaches out when you're struggling silently, who offers help when no one else is watching, who listens without judgment, who stands by your side when circumstances are difficult. It's in these small, almost imperceptible moments that the mask of pretense slips, revealing the authentic people in your life. It's a habit that requires patience because sometimes the truth is hidden behind layers of charm, flattery, or convenience. People who are fake friends have perfected the art of appearing supportive when it's easy and convenient, but their cracks show when effort, sacrifice, or discomfort is required. They vanish when their own convenience is threatened or when the situation demands genuine care and attention. By practicing this habit, by consciously observing these patterns over time, you develop a radar for authenticity. You start to see the difference between those who are genuinely invested in your well-being and those who are only temporarily aligned with your interests. It changes your perspective on relationships because you stop being swayed by superficial appearances and empty promises. Instead, you begin to value reliability, empathy, and steadfastness above charm, charisma, or the illusion of loyalty. The habit also teaches you a lesson in self-respect. Once you recognize who is genuinely there for you, you naturally begin to distance yourself from those who are not. You no longer waste your energy on people who cannot reciprocate the level of care, attention, and support you offer. It empowers you to create boundaries without guilt, to protect your emotional space, and to invest in relationships that are truly reciprocal. This habit is not about cynicism or mistrust, it's about discernment. It's about understanding that not everyone who smiles at you, not everyone who celebrates with you, is equally equipped or willing to stand with you when the tides turn. It's about being mindful of patterns over time rather than isolated gestures. A single act of support is valuable, but consistent behavior over multiple instances is what differentiates a true friend from a fake one. It's also about observing responses under stress. Some people appear loyal when things are smooth, but true character reveals itself when pressure, conflict, or adversity arises. Those who are authentic continue to engage, to empathize, and to support even when it costs them time, comfort, or resources. Those who are not fade, withdraw, or turn the focus back onto themselves. Practicing this habit transforms not only your relationships, but your own mindset. You begin to expect more from those around you, not out of arrogance or entitlement, but out of a commitment to surrounding yourself with authenticity. You begin to appreciate the rarity of true support and understand that it's more valuable than superficial popularity or widespread acquaintances. You learn to celebrate those who stand by you and at the same time, let go of the illusion of friendship that drains your energy and clouds your judgment. This habit also encourages subtle testing, but not in a manipulative way. It's not about creating scenarios to trap people or prove them wrong. It's about observing natural responses in ordinary situations, responses that require no prompting but reveal inclination, priorities, and values. For example, when you are going through a difficult decision, who offers guidance without judgment, who celebrates small victories without seeking attention for themselves, who reaches out in moments of crisis without expecting anything in return. These are the signals that reveal loyalty and authenticity. Over time, by paying attention to these patterns, you start to notice tendencies and triggers. Some people only appear supportive when their own needs are met or when the spotlight is on them. Others consistently show up quietly, without fanfare, without expectation, and without judgment. This clarity allows you to navigate your social world more wisely, to invest in relationships that are meaningful, and to avoid entanglements with people whose loyalty is conditional or performative. The habit also helps you recognize your own responses. You begin to reflect on the type of friend you are and whether your own actions align with your words. It's a mirror for personal growth because authenticity attracts authenticity. By cultivating this habit, you encourage a circle of genuine support, honesty, and mutual care. You start to see that true friendship is a two-way street, built not on convenience or circumstance, but on consistency, reliability, and integrity. This one habit, practiced consciously, gradually filters your relationships like a sieve. The superficial, the opportunistic, and the self-serving are exposed, while the loyal, compassionate, and steadfast rise to prominence. It's a habit that protects your heart, preserves your energy, and sharpens your emotional intelligence. It also instills a quiet confidence, because once you recognize who is real and who is not, you no longer need constant validation or reassurance from others. You trust your observations, your instincts, and your experiences. You no longer fear being alone because you understand that quality always outweighs quantity in relationships. Friends who matter will show themselves through their consistent actions. They will be present, empathetic, and supportive when it counts the most. And those who are fake will inevitably reveal themselves through absence, distraction, or self-interest. This habit also builds resilience. By seeing people for who they truly are, you are less likely to be disappointed, betrayed, or manipulated. You navigate social interactions with clarity and discernment, choosing carefully where to invest your trust and emotional energy. It transforms the way you connect, the way you expect loyalty, and the way you value genuine human connection. Over time, practicing this habit becomes second nature. You no longer need to overanalyze every conversation, every gesture, or every compliment. Your awareness becomes intuitive, guided by the patterns of consistent behavior. You recognize that authenticity is rare, that it cannot be faked indefinitely, and that the universe has a way of revealing truth through action rather than words. This habit does not require confrontation or drama. It simply requires observation, patience, and a willingness to see people clearly. The beauty of it is that it spares you from unnecessary pain. You don't have to wait for a betrayal to recognize a fake friend, because their own behavior provides the proof long before any confrontation is necessary. By cultivating this awareness, you learn to surround yourself with people who uplift, inspire, and support you without condition, and to distance yourself from those who cannot. It becomes a filter for meaningful connections, a compass for loyalty, and a safeguard for your emotional well-being. The habit also empowers you to act decisively. When you notice the absence of support, the lack of consistency, or the self-serving tendencies in others, you are equipped to make choices about boundaries, communication, and investment in relationships. You become proactive rather than reactive, choosing to invest in people who are genuinely aligned with your values, goals, and emotional health. The practice of this habit gradually changes your expectations and standards for friendships. You no longer settle for convenience or superficial charm. You start to recognize that genuine friendship requires effort, empathy, and consistency, and that these qualities cannot be faked for long. You begin to cultivate relationships that are reciprocal, nurturing, and grounded in mutual respect and loyalty. It also teaches patience and long-term observation. You learn that true loyalty is revealed over time, not in a single instance. This habit trains you to notice patterns, to value consistency, and to appreciate actions over words. It reminds you that friendship is not about appearances, but about alignment of values, intentions, and actions. By practicing this habit consistently, you become more discerning, more resilient, and more attuned to the authenticity of those around you. You start to understand that not everyone deserves access to your inner circle, your time, or your energy. The habit provides clarity, freeing you from unnecessary drama, disappointment, and emotional drain. It reinforces the principle that actions always speak louder than words, and that true friends will prove themselves in both ordinary and extraordinary circumstances. Over time, this awareness reshapes your social environment, attracting people who are genuinely supportive, loyal, and trustworthy, and naturally filtering out those who are not. It is a habit of observation, reflection, and intentionality, and it ultimately empowers you to build a circle of real friends who enhance your life, support your growth, and stand by you when it matters most. It reminds you that the value of friendship is measured not by promises, words, or appearances, but by consistent action, empathy, and unwavering support through life's challenges. How observing reactions in critical moments exposes fake friends every single time is a truth that most people overlook because they are distracted by appearances, charm, or empty words. The reality is words can be rehearsed, smiles can be faked, and gestures can be superficial. But reactions in moments of pressure, conflict, or need are unfiltered. They are raw, unedited, and brutally honest. These are the moments when people reveal who they truly are without intending to. When you face a challenge, whether it's personal, professional, or emotional, the people around you are suddenly given a choice to stand with you or to step back, to support you or to protect their own comfort. And in that choice lies the truth. Fake friends reveal themselves not necessarily through malice, but through absence, indifference, or selfishness. They may have smiled at your victories, celebrated your milestones, or been pleasant in easy circumstances, but when the tide turns, their reactions, or lack of them, show their true priorities. Observing these reactions requires awareness and patience. It requires you to slow down and notice how people respond when your situation is inconvenient, messy, or challenging. True friends show empathy without needing an explanation. They offer help without expecting something in return. They listen without judgment and stand beside you when it would be easier to walk away. Fake friends, on the other hand, often react with distance, excuses, or self-interest. They may offer words, but their actions betray a lack of commitment. One of the clearest ways this habit reveals itself is in moments of crisis. Consider a situation where you are struggling with a problem, perhaps financially, emotionally, or socially. Those who are real friends will check in, offer support, and be present without hesitation. Their reactions are consistent, measured by a genuine concern for your well-being, not by what they might gain from the situation. Fake friends, however, will disappear, become unresponsive, or redirect attention to themselves. Their reactions are transactional, their loyalty conditional. Another way to observe these reactions is in moments of disagreement or conflict. People who are authentic do not fear confrontation, but they handle it with respect, empathy, and fairness. They are willing to communicate, to understand, and to preserve the relationship even when opinions differ. Fake friends, in contrast, may react with hostility, avoidance, or passive aggression. They are more invested in winning or protecting their image than in sustaining the relationship. These moments of testing, when pressure, conflict, or need arises, are natural and inevitable. You do not need to create artificial situations to see reactions. Life itself provides enough scenarios. The key is to pay attention, to observe without bias, and to recognize patterns over time. It is not the occasional slip or oversight that exposes someone, but the consistent trend in their behavior that reveals their character. Observing reactions in critical moments also teaches you to value substance over appearances. In a world full of flattery, false charm, and empty promises, the genuine display of care and loyalty is rare. By noticing how people respond when it matters, you begin to differentiate between those who are performative and those who are authentic. You develop a radar for integrity, empathy, and genuine connection. This practice also strengthens your own emotional intelligence. You learn to remain calm and composed while observing others without immediately reacting to disappointment or betrayal. You notice subtle cues, the hesitation in a response, the tone of a message, the body language in a conversation, and understand that these small signals carry significant meaning. Over time, you develop a deeper understanding of human behavior, motivations, and values. Observing reactions is not only about identifying fake friends, it is about recognizing who is worthy of trust, who aligns with your values, and who genuinely contributes to your growth and well-being. It allows you to invest your time, energy, and emotional resources wisely. One of the most powerful aspects of this habit is its ability to prevent heartbreak, disappointment, and wasted effort. By being mindful of reactions in critical moments, you no longer need to be blindsided by betrayal or false loyalty. The truth becomes evident before damage occurs, giving you the choice to protect yourself and to disengage from relationships that are not serving you. It also encourages you to reflect on your own reactions. Are you showing up for your friends in their critical moments? Are you consistent, reliable, and empathetic? Observing others' behavior naturally prompts self-assessment, creating an environment where authenticity is not only valued but reciprocated. Over time, you begin to attract the right people into your life. Authenticity draws authenticity, and by consistently observing reactions, you create a social circle built on trust, loyalty, and mutual support. Fake friends, unable to meet this standard, naturally distance themselves or reveal their true priorities, leaving space for genuine connections to flourish. The habit of observing reactions also develops patience. You learn that it is not always immediate reactions that reveal truth, but responses over time under varying circumstances. Someone may appear supportive in one situation but falter in another. True understanding requires careful observation across multiple scenarios. This patience prevents rash judgments, ensuring that your evaluation of friendship is accurate and fair. In addition, this habit fosters resilience. When you recognize fake friends through their reactions, you are less likely to internalize betrayal or disappointment. You understand that their behavior is a reflection of their character, not your worth. This clarity empowers you to navigate relationships without anxiety, fear, or self-doubt. Furthermore, observing reactions encourages subtle, non-intrusive testing of loyalty. You do not manipulate or trap people, but you notice how they respond naturally when challenges arise. Who calls without being asked? Who offers help without being prompted? Who celebrates your victories without envy or ulterior motive? The answers to these questions are revealing. Over time, these observations accumulate into undeniable patterns, painting a clear picture of who is genuine and who is not. This awareness also shifts your expectations and standards. You begin to value reliability, empathy, and integrity over superficial charm or convenience. You seek friendships that are reciprocal, meaningful, and rooted in authenticity, rather than temporary alliances or performative gestures. Observing reactions in critical moments also serves as a protective mechanism. It shields you from toxic influence, manipulation, and false loyalty. By noticing red flags early, you can make informed decisions about engagement, boundaries, and investment of resources. You become proactive rather than reactive in managing your social environment. This habit transforms the way you view relationships entirely. It makes you a discerning observer, capable of distinguishing between appearance and reality, performance and sincerity, convenience and commitment. It enables you to cultivate a network of true supporters, people who will stand with you through adversity, celebrate your successes, and offer genuine guidance without expectation. Ultimately, this practice reinforces a fundamental truth: actions always speak louder than words. Reactions in critical moments are unfiltered, revealing the character, intentions, and priorities of those around you. By paying attention, by observing without bias, and by recognizing patterns over time, you uncover the reality of your friendships, protect your emotional well-being, and invest in relationships that truly matter. This habit, once cultivated, becomes second nature. You no longer rely solely on words, appearances, or promises. You trust the signals that matter most, how people behave when it counts, when life tests them, when their comfort is challenged. You become empowered, discerning, and confident in the company you keep, understanding that the people who remain through critical moments are the ones worth holding close, while those who fade away reveal themselves as inconsequential, fake, or self-serving. Observing reactions also trains you to respond thoughtfully. You are able to extend empathy where it is deserved and protect yourself where it is not. You understand the delicate balance of investment and discernment, ensuring that your energy is directed toward meaningful, reciprocal relationships rather than fleeting or performative ones. This habit is not about suspicion, it is about clarity. It is about understanding that life will naturally reveal truth if only you are attentive. By observing reactions in critical moments, you gain insight into the authenticity of others, the strength of their loyalty, and the depth of their empathy. It equips you with the knowledge to make conscious decisions about who deserves your time, trust, and care, and who does not, allowing you to build a social ecosystem rooted in honesty, reliability, and genuine connection